I have two members of a well-known band in front of me, and they had a hiatus or whatever you want to call it for 10 years, but they're back. They have a new single released, and they also have a gig coming up in Killybegs, and I'm delighted to say joining me from Mojo Gogo is Nicky Pollock and Paul Rogers. You're both welcome, gentlemen.
Hello, good to see you.
Yes, indeed. So, anyway, listen, you have this gig coming up in the Foresters, Nicky, in Killybegs.
Mm-hmm.
You've had a break for 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
and you're back with a vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
New single and everything.
Yep.
So, tell us something about the single, anyway, for starters.
Well, we came back. It was kind of the whole EP and everything was a year in the making. It was tough trying to keep it quiet, and we released a song called River.
Mm-hmm.
And just the day before, we didn't tell anybody that we were releasing anything. We put up a picture of the four of us, and the phones started hopping, and then we just dropped the new single the next day. And since then, every 3 weeks, we've been releasing another song, and it's been amazing. It really has.
The reaction
after taking the sabbatical, the hiatus for 10, nearly 11 years, and then to come back and have such a reaction has been amazing.
Right, well, we're going to talk more. We've loads to talk about because I know a lot of people are delighted that you're back again on the scene, and it's great to see. We're going to get a track first. The first one you're going to do for us is...
This one's called Build It Up.
Brilliant.
Build It Up.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Build it up so I can knock it down again. I wasn't there for the first time. I'm full of lies and empty promises. I don't believe them, so why should you? I'm easy. Takes more than fighting to be a man, like loving your woman the best that you can. So use your heart instead of hands next time you're angry. And when you're feeling low, you can find me. You'll never know what the words that you said meant to me. You'll never know what the words that you said meant to me. You said it's not what you used to. Build it up, build it up, build it up. But you must stagger your own way. Build it up, build it up, build it up. You said it's not what you used to. Build it up, build it up, build it up. And you must stagger your own way. I'm full of high hopes and expectations, amphetamine shakes and the 3-day blues, heartbreaks, hangovers, handcuffs and patience. I won't give in, I've got too much to lose. You'll never know what the words that you said meant to me. You'll never know what the words that you said meant to me. Build it up, build it up, build it up. Build it up so I can knock it down again. Build it up, build it up, build it up. Build it up so I can knock it down again. Build it up, build it up, build it up. Build it up so I can knock it down again. Build it up, build it up, build it up. Build it up so I can knock it down again. You said it's not what you used to. Build it up, build it up, build it up. You must stagger your own way. Build it up, build it up, build it up. You said it's not what you used to. Build it up, build it up, build it up. You must stagger your own way. Build it up, build it up, build it up.
Yeah. Yes, class. A very subdued two gentlemen here. The 10 years seems to have relaxed. She's a bit. Maybe it's just an notion. That song was requested, by the way, too.
Oh, no way, yeah.
Aye, honest to God in heaven, by a very famous lady, even more famous than the band yourselves. Her name's called Mary Rogers.
Oh, of course.
And she
oh,
said,
jeez.
Could you play it? Could you play a request from my wee William? Oh no, sorry, from Paul. And best wishes to Nikki and Kira, getting married. No, next month.
Next month, yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
very good.
I was hoping to keep that one quiet. You know what I mean? Just, you know.
Did you get married?
Aye. Groupies and whatnot. No, I'm only joking.
If nobody listens to this program, I wouldn't worry about it.
Oh, Kira will be listening to this program.
Oh, jeez. Well, come here, Paul. Mummy said.
Oh, God.
Did you change your socks? Oh no, that's me. Sorry, that's somebody else. Sorry. Mary, hello. We'll have to get Mary back up again sometime. We'll require a crack. My God, they've been up with us a few times. We'll have to get them back up again now. Come here. I was reading through, as you do, trying to get a wee bit of research and stuff like that. But one of the quotes was known for their energetic, impulsive, and unapologetically routine, legendary live shows, wild offstage antics, and a relentless hard partying work ethic. And I had it. Is that you that we're talking about, or was it the Rolling Stones or the Who?
Oh, yeah.
Take me back.
Keep it PG here.
Take me back.
Well, listen, myself and Paul, anyway, we were at school together, and we used to spend our time watching music documentaries and reading books about rock stars and everything else.
Throwing TVs out the window.
Aye, and we had all this who was going to drive a Bentley into a swimming pool first and everything. This was from a young age, So although when we were playing and stuff, we would have took it very seriously, but afterwards we made up for it. We really had a good time. We went for it then. So the whole rock and roll ethos was as important as the music for us, And we had a good time. But yeah, we've settled down a lot now. A distinguished gentleman.
Getting married and all that. But funny enough, you started off with the same lineup, and you still have the same, like Keelan still with you and Jordan as well.
Yeah. Well, it was funny, not until Trudy mentioned that there, the same four members. It never even occurred to me that there would be another member in the band. I think if you took any one of us out of it, it's not the same band. Do you know?
I know what you mean.
So it's never been, even that hiatus. Some of us, talking, wouldn't it be great? But it never occurred. It wasn't even a conversation to, well, if you don't want to do it, maybe we'll get somebody else in. It just, unless the four of us were in it together.
What happened, Nikki, that you decided to call it a day 10 years ago?
How long's this show? How long do you have? There was a lot of things, right? We were living together, we were playing together with the same friend group together, and every day we were writing, we were recording, we were on the road together, we were sharing hotel rooms and lodges, wherever we were staying, we were always together.
Basically, you fell out.
Well, not even really, not.
It was like being in a relationship.
It was being in a quadruple relationship, but we managed that and it was fine. But it gets to the stage, we'd done it for 4 years, and we were like, it took everything. We lived and breathed it, and it just, we were doing really, really well. Things was getting good, we were in Canada, Electric Picnic and everything. We were saying, do you know what? How far can we take this? And, is it better to leave it on a high? So some of the boys wanted to go and travel. Some of the boys had other ideas. Like I wanted to see what it would be like, writing music that might have been more acoustic based, and we just wanted to try different things. But we had a lot of challenging times too, we had we had a manager that we didn't know that was lining his own pockets, yeah, and it was kind of even one of the stories was kind of, we were playing a gig up in Belfast and we were playing the Black Box, and we were coming home in the car, and I was saying, did anybody see his new Merc? And do you hear about the hotel he's staying in? I know, but he wouldn't do that to us. No, he wouldn't do that to us. So not only that, he when we sacked him, he left us with a lot of debt too, but we were like, how did we not see it? We were just very trusting, and you're putting your trust in somebody, so that took the wind a bit out of our sails, because we were kind of locked into what he wanted us to do, and we felt kind of stuck by it. And you know, it's hard enough being a musician, being an original act, that you're going out and you're trying to sell yourselves, and then when you've got somebody taking whatever income that you've got too, do you know,
It rips the soul out of things,
it
doesn't
does,
it?
yeah. It's difficult enough without that,
Of course.
you know.
And this time round, you're managing yourselves.
Oh
obviously,
yeah.
you're not-
Yeah, and the funny thing is, as I said, the EP, like we started that last year, and we had a plan in place, you know, like what we were going to do and how we were going to do it, and if we were going to do it, we were going to do it right. We're all on the same page, and like as I said, everybody has such an input, like especially like Jordan, see what he's online and his management and like his events management and everything. He's full of wisdom, you know, and like that whole campaign would be nothing. I couldn't do that, you know. He adds that, and
He's
Paul,
that skilled.
yeah. I mean, Paul with media and like his writing, his knowledge, and you know, putting out his own music too. Lazenberg, big up.
Yeah.
Yep. Do you know, Paul hasn't stopped, like, and do you know, as I said, it's we had the tools to be kind of doing it, but like for whatever reason at that time we thought it might be handy for this guy sold us the sun, moon, and the stars. They had this act and that act, and he was going to do this and this here, and you know, and we took him on board. We were more than willing to do it ourselves, but as I said, it's tough.
Lesson learned.
Yeah. Apparently it's par for the course. Apparently everybody's been stung too. So.
But you hear a lot about it, like, you know. In fairness, like you do hear a lot.
Yeah, you do, and it's surprising how many people get stung, because you think that won't happen to me. Like we were doing well on our own, and then this, and just some people are good talkers.
The thing is, we were very young. We were like 20, 22.
Yeah.
Whenever that happened,
And you
like,
see,
we were just young and naive.
you're having the crack ball too, weren't you? You know, you're having a ball.
I
The
think
sounds of
it was
things.
easy to have somebody take over all that responsibility.
Yeah,
So you enjoy yourself.
and that was kind of, is like, if I concentrate on the business side, you get to just do what you do and don't worry about it. And we thought that's great. Then
That's
we just
brilliant.
concentrate on the music. So you're right.
That's a pity too. And let it be a warning for anyone listening in. Just be careful out there. There are people out there that will
Yeah.
take you apart.
Yep.
Come here. The gig on the 11th of July, you're coming back. It's in the Foresters Hall in Killybegs. So what's the story? Tickets, or what way does that work?
You might be able to help me out here, Paul.
I think the best way to find the tickets, and there's only just a few left, by the way, so get on it quick. If you go onto our Instagram page, which is MOJO GOGO Music, or you can find us on Facebook, and if you just go to the bios, it'll be in the link in the bio, and you can go straight to the tickets. But I think there's only a handful left, so definitely get on it.
They need to be quick. Now, the next question, I suppose, what everybody's asking, is this the start of something else?
We had said we'll get the tracks out. You know, we'll record 5 tracks and we'll do a gig and we'll see what happens. But things have been kind of offered and spoke about that it's too early to say anything yet. But again, it's early stages. We're just concentrating.
I don't expect you know, but it's just people are genuinely.
Yeah.
One of these boys come back together.
Yeah.
Well, I think our thoughts was just record and do one gig and just see from there. And there was no pressure at all expected of us, because we've all our own lives now. We've got our own jobs. Jordan lives in Dublin, Keelan's in Galway, and we're both in Donegal. But I think the idea was just no pressure this time. Because before, I think we put a lot of pressure and expectations on ourselves, and that's why it went downhill. This time
that comes with experience, Paul, doesn't it?
Yeah,
you know, like you seem to be more settled now. Maybe you just give me that impression. You sound like a very relaxed gentleman. Now it might just be
I think so.
when the music starts again, right? But it comes with experience. And it comes with life, and that you get burnt like that, and then you're back on, and you know, I meet a lot of bands and I meet a lot of people that had a great time when they're younger, and then but they come back and they're more relaxed, they're more in control. There's not as much pressure on them. As you say, you have all different things on now, so which there's definitely an opening there for you. So no mistake about that.
It's interesting. Like, people ask me, have you any regrets about the band? And the one regret is, like, I wish I'd enjoyed it more. I wish I could have really seen what we were doing, and enjoyed it. As Paul said, there was a lot of pressure on us. Like, there was a lot of, like, to make it, like, but what we did was the accomplishments we had Do you know, it was great for us, you know, being young men, being able to see that the music that we were writing in cold sheds or in our bedrooms would take us to like Canada and like across Europe and stuff. You know, that was that was nothing short of amazing for us. But again, I don't think, for me anyway, I didn't really soak up the experience and say, isn't this amazing? Because it was just so focused and pressure. So this time we're like, let's enjoy this experience.
It's only now you're looking back at that and appreciating it a bit.
Yeah.
What was the highlight back then, Paul? Or Nicky, sorry. It doesn't matter.
Jesus, there's so many. I keep on going through them all. Like when you're talking about Europe and stuff, and like Germany, Netherlands, Spain, Canada, all the big festivals. Like I think my number one dream was to play on Let a Picnic, and then we ended up getting the headline one of the stages.
Amazing.
One night. Like I think we clashed with Foles, and I remember halfway through the gig, Foles were starting, I think, and I could hear them in the background every time we stopped the song, and I was like, all right, lads, once we get this gig over, I am straight off here. I talked to the stage manager, I was like, do you mind if we just leave the gear here, because we're the last band on, and I just threw my guitar and started running to the next stage. So it was a good thing to say we clashed with Foles.
Class. Brilliant stuff.
I think the one that sticks out in my head for me was one of the last gigs we did. We were playing in Richard Branson's Mod Club in Toronto, and it was the last gig of like that tour that we were doing, and we'd kind of gathered a lot of like friends and got to know people and everything, and like through the week as we were playing the gig, there was people singing the songs back, and I did take a brief moment to be like, I can't believe this is where we're at, and that people are singing the songs back. A sold out Virgin Mod Club, like, you know, and that was.
I've always said that to singers. I've always and they all would agree. It must be a great feeling. You singing and people singing your songs. You know, back to you. I think that must be just amazing because, you know, you've taken this song from the first letter. Yeah. And now people are singing it, and it's like, you know, you say to yourself, well, like, I sing other people's songs along. It must be just great, you know. So
it's so hard to explain. Like it really is, you know. But
well, you're back again, and we're delighted you're back again. We're going to get another track from you, but first we're taking a commercial break. So don't go away if you're listening. Mojo Gogo, and they'll be telling us more antics and stories after this break.
The moment you got told the good news.
Rob, you made the panel.
When the lads added you into the group. Skipping nights out, missing the crack. Rewatching classics and learning new tricks. Being driven to the biggest game of your life by your mam. And then you finally come on in the 51st minute. It's the minor moments that last a lifetime. The Electric Ireland GAA Minor Championships. This is major.
Have you got the voice, the passion, and the personality to be on air? Highlands Radio is looking for fresh new presenters to join our team. Whether you're experienced or just getting started, this is your chance to shine. Apply now by sending us a short demo and a bio to hr@highlandradio.com. Highlands Radio, your voice, your station. Highlands Radio is an equal opportunities employer.
Yes, indeed. Welcome back. It's 25 minutes in front of 10 o'clock on Monday night. Don't forget, the man's back from America. It's there. Aidan Murphy is in the building, and he will, just in case you're tuning in after 10 o'clock and you hear this guy with an American accent, yes, it's Aidan back from New York. So, what's them two fingers there? All right. Anyway, stay tuned. Aidan Murphy just after 10 o'clock tonight, between 10 and 12, with the golden year. And as I say, we have Nicky Pollock and Paul Rogers in studio with us, and the next track up for us, lads, you're going to do.
This song is called 420. It's a bit of an older song, but it was one of the last ones we finished with. Might have been our last single, was it?
Is it? Yeah, probably is.
We should have done our own research before we come in, but yeah, this one's called 420.
I'll check it out, please. Whenever you're ready, lads.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. I used to think that sleeping was a waste of my time. Now I'm kept awake with you on my mind. I'm tossing, I'm turning, I'm burning with jealousy. 'Cause you cut me off so suddenly. All roads lead to nothing when there's nowhere you'd rather go. And these back streets are all that you know. And she won't listen to what I say. Got no time for the games that I play. I'm losing you, but there's nothing new. 420, 420, 420, oh, 420, 420, 420, whoa. I got my own medicine now, I can't stand the taste. I wanna tear off your clothes and rip off his face. You said I'm not the one to be shouting my mouth, so I breathe in the smoke and let it all out. All roads lead to nothing when there's nowhere you'd rather go. These back streets are all that you know. And she won't listen to what I say. Got no time for the games that I play. I'm losing you and there's nothing new. 420, 420, 420, oh, 420, 420, 420, whoa, now I'm coming down. We need to let this love drown. All roads lead to nothing when there's nowhere you'd rather go. These back streets are all that you know. She won't listen to what I say. Got no time for the games that I play. I'm losing you and there's nothing new. 'Cause all roads lead to nothing when there's nowhere you'd rather go. These back streets are all that you know. She won't listen to what I say. Got no time for the games that I play. I'm losing you and there's nothing new.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Who have I got here? I'm going to get my glasses on me right here. Dolores said the ref was a disgrace. Well, that must be an order.
The ref.
George Brennan says, "Hey, Paul and Jimmy." George, Jimmy's not here. He's away on holidays. JJ McGarvey said, "Sounding mighty as always, lads. Roll on the return." And Maria McCormick said, "Come on, the boys." Mickey Duffy, no, a great singer. Brilliant interview, and them two boys aren't too bad either. No, brilliant interview on live music. Mojo Gogo first class. How did the name come about?
Oh, well.
Oh, yes.
Well,
Here we go.
so the story I thought it was, Keelan said, we were looking for gigs in Derry, and he was telling people, I have a bit of a band going, they're called the Pippers, because we were going to be we just wanted a few pound when we were at college, and then I was like, I don't know about the Pippers, but we weren't going to have a serious name anyway. So in my head, I was reading this Total Guitar magazine, and the story was David Lee Roth and Keith Moon hired a photographer to come to the Playboy Mansion to take pictures of them and document their party, and they called it Project MOJO GOGO. This is a story I've told since the start of the band when we've been asked about the band name. Only recently, myself and Papa was like, "Are you sure about that?" I was like, "Oh, I'm fairly sure. Like, I wouldn't make something like that up." Can't find any record of that story anywhere. So, who knows?
Nicky, I would stick to that because nobody's going to question it.
Yeah, well, Paul did. I was like, "Oh, right enough. I have no idea." So anyway,
14 years later.
yeah.
But it is a standout name, in fairness. It is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You featured on Hot Press, didn't you? You featured in the
We did.
magazine. That's
Yeah.
a big thing too.
On the cover, nonetheless. Yeah, that was good. That was funny. That was an experience too.
ourselves way too seriously. My God.
But you see when you were, was it all your own music you were playing?
All our own stuff. Yeah, all our own music.
Excuse me. How did you write collectively together? Or
Yeah, we did. So it would either Paul would come to me, or I'd come to Paul with an idea, and I'd say, like, Paul would say, I've got this riff. I might play the chords, or Paul might say, would you play these chords over this riff? And then I would start writing the lyrics, and then we'd take it to the boys and say, come here, what do you think of this? Keelan would start doing his thing, Jordan would start doing his thing, and it would all come around like naturally. Everybody had their own input, do you know? And that was how the songs were written. And
most of the time together, you got on fairly well. Then,
we did, yeah. You know, 95% of the time, I think. Or is that too much? Is it statistically less?
92.5%.
No, we did. But like that, I mean, like anything, there would be things. I mean, I remember there was one night we were on the road in Holland. I took the huff and fell out. We were arguing over who got what beds. And I think the argument was me and Keelan should have had this share because we were the snorers. And I was the shortest one, so there's no way I should have got a double bed. And then I took the huff about this, like, you know, and the next morning we got up and we laughed about it. But
rock and roll.
That was just stuff like that.
You said earlier on, your college. You mentioned college. Is that how you got together in college? Where was that? In Belfast? Or?
Derry.
Derry.
Yeah. So it was kind of like I met Keelan at Oxygen years ago, and I was saying, "What are you going to do?" He's just finished his leaving cert. I think he was only 17 at the time. And he's like, "Oh, I think I'm going to go to Carlow and I'm going to be a bouncer." You know, I was like, "No, don't come to Derry. We'll do music with us." And so me and Keelan lived in a house together. Paul was squatting in the house, and me and Keelan, our college wasn't going well basically, and the lecturer says, "You need to pull something big out the bag, or yous are gone," you know. And
what were you studying?
Music. And so
couldn't make it up.
We were struggling at Jordan was living next door in a house. Jordan was studying music production. He says, "Listen, would you mind sitting in for this? We need a drummer. We're meant to have a band together, but no one will play with us." And then we says, "Paul, will you come in and play guitar?" And Paul's like, "Yeah, no bother." And then so we played 2 covers, and he was happy. And then there was like a band competition, a battle of the bands, and you had to have an original song. So I think Paul had these chords, and we're like, "Oh, that's cool," and just played it. I wrote words over it, and then we won the battle of the bands. And we won £1,000, and we were like, we just use the money to record with and keep writing songs. So that's what we did, and it just took off from there.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
one song. Yeah.
Where did you record at the time?
That was Blast Furnace in Derry. Yeah, Rory Donaghy. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
So that was a new experience to us.
Jesus, we did brand new. We were trying out so many weird things. The guy was like, "Oh, just play anything and don't play it in key," and I was like, "Are you sure?"
And then he was telling him to play left-handed. Then Paul's trying to play a solo left-handed. I remember, if my memory serves me well, Paul goes, "Hang on, I've spent years trying to get good at guitar. Now you're trying to tell me to play it wrong."
Very, very good.
Yeah.
There's stuff there for a book, I would say. A lot of stuff maybe you can't tell us on air,
That's
you know.
the other side of it, yeah.
Ryan Gallagher says, "Well done, lads. Good to see this happening again. Looking forward to the gig."
Class.
You're excited about the gig?
Yeah, no, we are, yeah. We had
probably more nervous than excited.
Do you think? Oh, Mr. Positive over here.
My
Positive
body is
Paul.
not ready for it.
That's the other one, because we used to do a good bit of jumping about and whatnot, and I don't know if the knees or the hips are going to hold up, but you know what? We're going to give it a good try anyway.
Who would you be basing, probably not the right way to say it, but who would you be basing yourself on, you know, when you started off?
Biggest influences?
Yeah,
Kings
Leon was a huge one.
Yeah.
Kings Leon, Thin Lizzy. And then we all came at it with our own there would have been a band, Bombay Bicycle Club. Jordan would have, Foles would have been a big one. Yeah. So we collectively all kind of had the same interests, but then other times, there might be, we'd bring bands to each other that we hadn't heard of, so it was good, but more or less we all had the same influences.
I hear all these stories. There's one there. Mojo lived the rock and roll dream at full throttle, leaving a trail of legendary nights in the wake.
Where are you finding these?
We had a big conversation before coming in here. We're like, keep it PG. Don't even go there, please.
But it must have been chaotic then, was it?
It was, yeah. It was chaotic. We had a good time. You know, we had a really good time. And as I said, because when we were on stage, we didn't drink when we were on stage most of the time. Some people get excited sometimes, but most of the time we were. That was like, you know,
I don't know.
the performance
you
was
were
more
very strict
important than having a drink on stage.
So
you know.
you were interested enough in that.
Oh
you
yeah,
were serious enough
100%.
about
Yeah,
that.
but like afterwards, you know, when the energy's up and everybody's hyped, and then like anybody that had been there, you know, would go back and would party with them and stuff, you know, and like we made up for the drinking we weren't doing on stage, you know, and because as I said, it was important to us to put on the performance mattered more, like.
You were serious enough about it.
We were
like,
serious enough
yeah.
about it, like, you know what I mean? Because there's so many bands that had great potential, but we've seen so many bands going up and, you know, just drunk on stage. You know, like, that's not rock and roll. Rock and roll's about the music first. If the music's good and, you know, that's the main thing.
Get drunk after.
Aye, you know, that was it.
But you just support Horslips or?
Oh Jesus! We did that. This is a
Yeah,
funny
we
story.
did. Oh, God. So we played the Ulster Hall, and
Who else was there?
there was Horslips, there was Ash,
Aye.
and there was Khalees and DJ Fresh. And there's another band called Cashier Number 9. And we were just talking about this on the way up, man. It's just it was good for us. We were in with all these bands and that kind of. Horslips were brilliant. Barry Devlin has been a supporter from the start, like, and he really has, because he's, you know, there's a quote in Hot Press from Barry Devlin, who'd done an interview afterwards and was speaking such nice words about us and stuff, you know. But they were such lovely guys, you know.
And we were offering him a drink.
We were offering a drink, but like half of them didn't drink. You know, they had sense too, and we were like, oh, you know, this and that there and whatever. And
Wonder if said they had a defibrillator
yeah, they all had
on standby.
Yeah, they had ailments. All right, you know, they'd lived you did live the rock and roll life too, do you know?
Rock and roll, eh? Have
Yeah,
a defib besides you.
That was it. Yeah, you know. So, but and there was a lady there, and I was like, oh, Khalees, oh, can't believe it, you know, my milkshake. And she was like, I'm not Khalees. She was like, you know. And
Fleur.
Fleur East was her name.
Fleur East, yeah.
But
right.
but this was before she was Fleur East. She was singing for DJ Fresh.
Right.
So that has haunted me since, that I get the two of them mixed up, Khalees and Fleur East. But it can happen to anyone.
Part of rock and roll.
Oh, well, that's it, you know. But it was
Come
good
here,
day
we're
out.
going to get a final tune, but we're going to take a quick commercial break. What are we coming back with?
Romance and the Lie.
Right,
is the next
after
one.
this break, don't go away.
The countdown is on. Just a few months until Highland in the Sun hits Salou. Just picture it. This September, from the 14th to the 21st, you can enjoy 7 nights bed and breakfast plus dinner in the beautiful 4-star Sol Costa Dorada Hotel with airport transfers in Spain included. You will enjoy 7 nights of the music that you love, including Mick Flavin, Claudia Buckley, Johnny Brady, Dominic Kerwin, and many, many more. Give yourself an end of summer treat by booking your getaway with Highland Radio and myself, David James. Contact Country Music Tours to book your place today on 074 9119 955. See ya in Salou.
At Specsavers, we've got hearing devices that can stream music or movies. Ones that are good in crowds, rechargeable battery ones that are good at home, ones that are good in the great outdoors, ones that connect to phones, ones that fit in your ear, ones that fit over your ear, ones that fit in wherever you happen to be. We've even got ones in our advanced range that use AI to make speech sound clearer, and they're all available at great Specsavers prices. So book a free hearing check today, because OK hearing is not OK. Terms and conditions apply.
Certainly is not. You're welcome back. It's 10 minutes in front of 10 o'clock. Monday night sessions in studio and ahead of their reformation gig on the 11th of July in the Foresters Hall in Killybegs. There's a few tickets, and I say a few, Paul, isn't that correct? So if you want them, go on to your Instagram.
The social medias. If you go to Instagram, it's MOJO GOGO Music.
Yeah.
And then Facebook, I think it's just MOJO GOGO.
Brilliant.
So, yeah.
Now, I think it'll be one of many concerts. I would be very surprised if it's a one-off, you know. And there's things happening because I can see the glistle in their eyes, and they're not going to tell me, but that's what rock and roll's all about, you know. But anyway, lads, the final track, whenever you're ready, thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Passion, it leads to the action. With thoughts of resentfulness, God bless the heart of another. You've cheated, your heart overbeaten for the girl that you wanted, but you couldn't keep it together. Lies, romance, tears in her eyes. If it's time that you want, then baby, you've got it. But you're all that I want, make no doubt about it. I'm home now, there's nowhere to go now. It's 5 a.m. and I'm still tossing and turning around in her bed. It's calm in the eye of the storm, and I'm sure for a while it was warm before you snuck up behind me and tore me to a shred. Lies, romance, tears in her eyes. If it's time that you want, then baby, you've got it. You're all that I want, make no doubt about it. We kissed in the rain, I tried to drive you home wasted. Yeah, you're all that I want now that I've tasted. If it's time that you want, then baby, you've got it. You're all that I want, make no doubt about it. We kissed in the rain, I tried to drive you home wasted. Yeah, you're all that I want now that I've tasted.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Brilliant. That is Mojo Gogo. Finlay Thompson says, on the lads. And Clodagh said, brilliant lads, looking forward to the gig. It's going to be brilliant. 11th of July. And the new single, the current single, Julie, is released this coming Friday.
Yes.
And that'll be available on all the platforms.
All the platforms.
Listen, have a great night. I think you're going to have an amazing night. And it's great to see you back again. And continued success, as they say, living the rock and roll dream ish. You know what I mean? But Nicky Pollock and Paul Rogers, thank you very much. I really enjoyed your company. And